Let's go.
Welcome home to 42 Geek Street, your guide to the world of the geek, for that little bit of geek in all of us. Hi, I'm Ren, and with me today I've got Rod. How are you doing, Rod? Thank you for, you're getting used to me doing this all the time.
I get that every time on the podcast. Ren always does it to me when across the table, and it's only audio. He doesn't need visuals for it, but yeah, it is funny. So.
But now I've got you to do it too.
Yeah.
Now, thank you for being on today's show and helping me out.
That's all right.
Today's show, we actually get to visit Allan's workshop and see how he gets to do his, he's not just the TARDIS guy.
The shields are awesome. So
Yeah,
this is
he's a
cool.
bit of a
Check
shield
it out.
guy.
Yeah.
We also go back to Rod's place and check out the vinyl pops.
Yeah, I did his Marvelous Marvel collection last week, and this time it's the vinyl.
You get to see
pops.
Mike Rule.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, we lost him for ages because he just loves them. So yeah.
And then finally, we also go to Inside the Brick, and we got to visit and see all the Lego there.
Yeah, so we went to their expo that they had in Moorabbin, so that was really cool. And then later on in the season, we'll actually be going down to Inside the Brick's actual site, which is really awesome as well. So yeah, that's going to be cool to check out later on.
Definitely. But right now, we're actually going to have Mike interview you. But first, I need to summon him.
Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Oh, my eyeballs are a bit dry, but anyway.
Oh, good. Well, I think I've been summoned, obviously.
That's correct. We'd had the superhero origin story of Tarkin, and we've met Lauren, and now it's time to meet the supervillain, which is what the suits behind the scenes are usually are, so that'd be me, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's talk about your history and how you got to be involved in all things geekdom.
Well, because of you, pretty much. For my birthday, someone bought me a little present, and that little present happened to be this little guy here.
An excellent choice.
Yeah, so because I used to collect Master of the Universe figures, and I collected those back when I was a little tacker. And then you got me this one, and that sort of got me interested in starting to collect these figures. So I now have a couple of hundred of these, all because of you.
And leading on from that, I suppose, what else have you collected from there?
I also collect Mr. Potato Heads, but one of the things I've learnt with collecting, and it's a tip that I would give to others, is if you're going to pick something that's been out for a while, and Mr. Potato Head was one of them, I just started grabbing everything from anywhere, and then I decided that there's no way I could complete the collection. That's particularly drilled home when you have a look at what Rod's been able to do, and how he's had to go and chase certain things when he started a little bit later. So we learnt a lot from that. But if you pick a particular thing and go for that, it's a lot easier to actually be a bit of a completionist, which I am, and to get those collections. So with the Mr. Potato Heads, I decided to focus on movie figures. So I got all the Star Wars ones. I'm missing a couple, but I'm going for the Star Wars ones, and I got the ones that are superheroes and all those sort of things. So I'm going for the characters rather with the potato heads than just the generic type of potato heads. And with the action figures, I'm trying to stick to just to DC. I've got a few Marvel ones that slip in there because I love Spidey. Yep. But I was also trying to target Justice League, so I'm trying to get the full collection of the Justice League figures, so at least have one of each figure. So that's the collections. And then obviously got into podcasting because you invited me down as sitting on Watcher once, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. So I started a fantasy casting agency.
What are you saying? You're saying that I'm the main reason?
You're the influence. You are a bad influence, and you're the one that got me into all this pop culture stuff. And ultimately now we're doing a TV show. So yeah, but it's been good. It's been a good journey. And one of the things I really focus for the TV show is the community. And one of the things I've found since getting involved and actually actively getting out there and getting involved and figuring out what getting involved actually means is how welcoming people are. And that's been the awesome part. Like the Watcher guys welcomed me in to do that podcast, and then through you guys I've met the comic creators, and so we've met Brendan and all those sort of guys who've been really friendly, and we're all friends on Facebook now, Mark from Art Boy. So it's been really, and Allan as well, it's been a really inclusive community, and that's what I found with the geek community of Melbourne. It's very inclusive, and that's been awesome, and that's what we wanted to try and capture with the show. So that's how come the TV show came about.
So the big question is, I mean, why wouldn't you want to join the community?
Exactly right. True that.
And the other thing I've noticed, you've got another figurine. Now, what's the relevance behind that?
Well, one of the things I always ask is what is the figure that was the hardest to get? And for me, it was this little guy, now to be played by Dwayne Johnson in the movie. Yeah, so he was a really hard one to get. I ended up going on eBay and I kept getting outbidded heaps and heaps of times. So I just bidded on everyone that I come across. Ended up getting 2 within a week. But he was the one that I was really, Black Adam was the one I was really trying to get. So that's why I sort of bought him here. And Ren obviously have some cutaways of some of the rest of the collection. But yeah, he was the grail that I was after, just to, because it was just so hard to get from that little series. And I really like the character, so I'm really glad. Hope Dwayne Johnson does a fantastic job in Shazam. That would be awesome.
I think he will. I think it'd be hard for him not to do a good job. He's got the eyebrow down already, so really, it could work a treat.
He does.
Now, well, thanks for giving us a little bit of history on everything about you today. I might going to summon back a bit of Ren, I think.
Okay.
So, all right, I've never done this before, but...
I'm going to do the whole posting.
All right, Ren, I summon thee.
Whoa, I feel kind of violated.
Wrong, from wrong town. We apologise, family audience members.
It's when Mike and I come together. Now, that was a pretty...
Wrong from wrong town. No, that was interesting, because
Yes.
the subject matter was quite interesting.
Of course, 'cause of course you are interesting, Ron.
Yes.
Now, right now, we're going to go straight to Allan in his workshop.
Check it out.
So Allan, I'm holding one of your wonderful shields right now. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the process of building it?
Sure. We build them out of a spun aluminium disc, which is hand tooled, and then I go through a process of fitting out the brackets, which are all aluminium brackets on the back with handmade leather working. The shields are then finished with automotive paint, so they're primed and then ground coated, and then we put this lovely red and this lovely blue on, and then the star goes over the front, and this is what you end up with. There's a little bit more involved than that, but that's the basic process.
Now I've noticed a little bit, and we will show our viewers. There's a bit of a detail that you like to put on, which is the Shield official.
Yeah, the lovely little badge on the back, which is actually somebody else's work. A friend of mine does them for me, and I have a little US government property ID tag on the back, which is a really nice touch. People seem to really like that, and it's one of my favourite parts of the shield.
Now, are those all individually made? Are they unique?
Yeah, each shield is unique. I have a nice repeatable process now, but every shield is unique and handmade by me, and they're all sequentially numbered. So when you buy a shield, each badge on the back has its own number, and we're actually considering starting doing them with people's names on now as well.
Whoa. Now, I know that for a little bit extra, they can arrive in some very special wrapping. Would you tell us about that as well?
Sure, yeah. I've got this really big thing for Indiana Jones, and I love that scene in Indiana Jones where there's this big warehouse full of crates, and they all have this stamp on the side, and it's like this magical place where all these really cool things are just stored away. So I thought it would be really cool to make the similar crates with SSR badges on for the Captain America shields to come in with nice wood packing, and yeah, so I started making those, and they seem to be going down really well. I display my battle damage shield in one.
Now, your partner made you a little surprise with that one one day when you were coming home. Is that true?
Mostly, yeah. She made I've got these really nice. I've got these really nice little things. So they're what that goes on the front of the shield. These are what goes on the front of the crates. And she actually took one and used it to dust off a chocolate cake. So she presented me with an SSR chocolate cake, which was really cute. Yeah.
So you're not the only creative one in the household then?
No, I'm definitely not, no. That's where I get most of my ideas from, to be honest with you.
Awesome.
I just build the things.
Now, how long do they usually take to make?
Oh, between 2 and 4 weeks. It depends on depends on where I am with the other work that I've got going on, and it depends on what materials I've got. So if I've got them all, you know, there's quite a bit that goes into them. So yeah, 2 to 4 weeks is usually a good turnaround time if people want to get hold of the shield. What I've started doing is I build them in batches now, and I'll fill a batch up with a list of people's names, and then I'll start on those. There might be clean shields like this one, or they might be battle damage shields, and then as I fill that batch, I'll then get that whole list up and running, and I'll do the whole batch at once, and then I'll send all the shields out to people. But yeah, it's a couple 2 to 4 weeks is probably about right.
Now, if somebody wants one of these bad boys, where can they find the details?
Well, you can check me out on Facebook, on the Tardis Guy on Facebook. Obviously, I'm on things like Tumblr and Instagram and places like that. But if you want to get in touch with me, go through Facebook and just drop me a message, and I'll give you all the details.
So thank you so much, Allan. This has been such a pleasure. Back to the studio, guys.
And coming up after the break, we've got Rod and his pop finals.
True story. Welcome back to 42 Geek Street. Coming up next, Rod and his pop vinyl collection, which is absolutely magnificent. And here's Mike to tell you all about it.
Hi there, folks. It's Mike here, and we're back here again with Rod with his awesome toy collection here. It's you gotta love it. There's tears, seriously. Rod, amazing work.
Thank you.
You've practically got every single pop that's out at the moment, from what I can tell.
Almost.
What got you started on them?
When my little girl Lila, who's 2.5 now, around about the time she was born, we decided to get a few of the Disney ones. We just saw them around town and decided to grab a few as nice keepsakes for her as she got older. Who doesn't love Disney, right?
Exactly.
And then from there, my wife Steph, I collect so many different things that she decided she wanted to collect something. So she said, all right, I'll collect the DC Pops. So we bought the first series of those. There were only 6. Then 6 more came out. Then 6 more came out.
And it grew.
And then I said, well, I kind of like the Marvel ones. So I grabbed the Marvel ones. Then a few movie ones, and it just snowballed and into the 700 odd that you see here now.
It is very impressive. Like you said, you're a Marvel man.
Yep.
And there's so many variants of different characters too.
That's right.
A couple of examples we've got here will be the Predator. So
Yep.
I'll get you to hold that
Sure.
one. And this one here. So what are the main differences between these two?
So this is the standard release. This just came out in stores everywhere. Yeah, you could just buy it pretty much anywhere in any standard retail store. And then what they did for 2013, San Diego Comic-Con released a blood-spattered version. So the box has blood spatter, the image on the front has blood spatter, and the actual pop himself has the green blood that you would see the Predator got from Arnie in the movie. They've done that with Alien, they've done it with the Watchman, Rorschach. You can get actual red blood on him, and his face mask is different. They do it with a lot of different characters and pops, and they'll do it with a slight nod to something that happened in the movie or in the comics, or you can get like a fuzzy Winnie the Pooh as opposed to the regular plastic Winnie the Pooh. You can get a Dumbo with the clown face from the movie as opposed to just the standard looking Dumbo. There's a million and one of them. They're really cool and really unique, and they're also the bane of my existence because they're very hard to get at times. Yeah, so that's your standard variant. Then something else which I got was occasionally what you'll get is an error. So you got the standard Batman, and then what happened was they released the Batman without approval from DC, and they put the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman insignia on the chest of the comic Batman, which they essentially got wrong. It's a very geeky thing. It's a very small thing, but there was a recall and a few slipped through the cracks as an error. I managed to get one. These guys are a lot harder to get and a lot less prevalent, but yeah, if you can get one, it's really cool.
It's actually really cool to be holding it right now. So this is on film. I'm so happy about this. So that's really cool. I suppose another example we haven't got here, which we talked about earlier, was just Deadpool. I mean, they brought out a whole bunch of those, didn't they?
They did. So Deadpool, he's quite a cult figure, as I'm sure many people know, and he's been in X-Force. He's been in his standard red costume. He's worn a makeshift X-Men costume. He's been mask off, mask on. So what Funko decided to do, they probably saw dollar signs on the horizon, and I think at this count, there's 14 different Deadpools.
That's a lot of Deadpool.
Shameful to say that I have them all, but there's a glow in the
It's
dark.
a good thing,
yeah, there's an inverse version. There's a metallic version. There's all sorts of crazy variants.
So you've also got a couple of really unique pieces here. Stan Lee's. I mean, I've heard about these, but I haven't actually seen them at all. So, and you got a couple signed.
I did. What they did was they announced convention exclusive, which you can see there. they announced they were going to do 5 different Stan Lee pops. The only difference would be that his shirt would have a different one of his catchphrases each time, and they did it over 5 different conventions across America this year. I got the last one on the way, but as you can see, there's 4 here. And then they offered, Stan was going to be at each convention, and if you wanted to pay a premium, you could get him to sign them and have it certified. So I did that with a couple, just for keepsakes. And yeah, they're a great little thing. That the only thing that gets me with those is that for some weird reason they numbered them all number 1, despite the difference in the shirt. Normally there's numbering where each series of pop has a different set of numbering. The Stans, for some reason, all just have 0, 1.
So how does the numbering work when it comes to all the pops?
So what they do is, so there's a movie line, and then that will start at number 1 and just roll through randomly different movies, and the numbering goes on. I think they're up to about 110 now.
Right.
And then Disney have their own set of numbering, and the pop box will actually say underneath the pop symbol, it'll say Disney, or it'll say pop movie, pop TV, pop animation, pop heroes for Marvel and DC, that sort of stuff. Each system has its own set of numbering. I think TV has the highest at the moment. It's up to about 130.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been so many TV shows that have come out. Look, Funko's are continuing to grow, and the amount of licenses they're getting are just incredible. So I think Rod's going to be buying them for the rest of his life, and I'll get a few. But no, thank you so much for letting us come in here and explore again today.
No
and
problem.
yeah, I'm sure we'll see you, for another couple of hours once again. So thanks a lot.
Cool.
Cheers. And back to the studio.
And after the break, we go inside the brick.
True story, again. Welcome back to 42 Geek Street. Coming up now, we went down to Moorabbin for an Inside the Brick Expo just to check out what was going on, and we actually found out a lot about what this organisation was all about. Check it out. Hi guys, Ron here from 42 Geek Street. I'm here with Rob Deacon from Inside the Brick, and we're here down in Moorabbin for the Bayside Lego Expo. But first, Rob, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Inside the Brick?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking, and thanks for coming down. Inside the Brick is what's called a social enterprise. So it's sort of halfway between a business and a sort of not-for-profit.
Yeah.
So I started it to take my Lego interest to the next level for kids, particularly kids with autism. So what happens is we run commercial activities, but we then use half of the profits from that to then develop our brick clubs. So if you can imagine, a lot of kids who might be a bit more nerdy or geeky might struggle with Auskick or some other sort of mainstream activities.
Yeah.
But they love Lego and they love Star Wars and they love the sort of fringe pop culture type things.
You got pirate themes,
Yeah,
space
yeah.
themes.
So like if you're into, Star Wars Astromechs, and I'm into Astromechs, and we can have a talk. You can talk about R2D2 and the new Clone Wars droids, and and we can connect over that.
Yeah.
We might not even know each other's names. It's like you go to a Comic Con or something.
Yeah,
it's like,
you meet
oh, awesome
someone,
suit.
didn't I see you last time?
And you're talking to them for 15 minutes, and you walk away, and you tag them on Facebook. You don't even know their real name, and they're called Flower Kitty or something or whatever. So that's sort of in the adult community. If you think more with some of these other kids who might feel quite shy or have social anxiety issues, the interest joins them together. So I started Inside the Brick to create clubs for those kids. So we're running our clubs in Fairfield, and now I've been mentoring and tutoring people on how to run those clubs all around Australia, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Okay, that's cool. So how does someone get involved if they want to run one of those sort of clubs?
Just shoot us an email. In fact, next month we'll be launching our brickclubs.org website, so people can go there and say, look, I've got 3 kids, I'm in Wagga Wagga, and I'd like to club in our area. You register, and then we can find other people and bring you together. And we can only do that because we run things like these big exhibitions.
Which sort of raises people awareness of the organisation as well as the love of Lego. And
it does a couple of things. I mean, the thing for me is it always puzzles me how people think of a lot of these type hobbies as a singular activity, not something that's social. And so I like to get everybody together and say, hey, look, it's not just you that's into Lego. 40-year-old dad, it's all these other people, and you can connect with them. And coming here makes people realise that, makes the mums realise it's not sort of a fringe activity. It's actually quite a mainstream. Lego is quite a mainstream activity.
Yeah, I've got quite a few friends who've got kids who bought Legos for, or one in particular who's bought Legos for his son.
Now I have to stop
who's
you.
Just been born.
I have to stop you, and I don't want to be a pedant, but Legos is a pasta sauce. And the only
Lego.
people who say Legos are people from America and Adelaide. Like, so you got it, so it's Lego. Lego bricks, Lego sets. That's for the purists out there. See, I got it in.
Yeah, so my friend who's into Lego,
Very good.
Yeah, got it for his
Fast
son
learner.
as he was born, and now he has heaps of different sets and stuff, and started collecting on through like eBay and stuff like that. He's got a whole hodgepodge of different things.
Yeah,
but,
that's what they call, or what we call the dark ages. So you have your Lego,
yeah,
and then you go in. You know, when you discover what I call the fumes, the perfumes, the petrol fumes, or whatever, you get distracted. And you go into your dark ages, and then 35, 38.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to buy some Lego for my son, my daughter.
Son or my daughter, yeah.
And next minute it's, Dad, can I have my X-wing? No, Dad's fixing it. It's in the study, And by the way, for Christmas you're getting a Death Star, A 6-year-old girl comes to me, I'm getting a Death Star for Christmas. Really?
They have some really good sets for little girls as well.
Yeah,
too.
well, the Friends, sorry for the Star Wars fans out there, but Star Wars used to be quite a big part of the Lego, revenue. Unfortunately, this year, Friends, all the pink stuff, has now surpassed Star Wars as far as market share.
Because all the little box set have little girls' names on it too.
Yeah. Emma,
that's
Olivia, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephanie is one that we bought for a friend's
Well, they
daughter.
call Stephanie the $1 billion girl because they went from being a $3 billion company to a $4 billion company, basically in 1 year. And Stephanie's the lead girl in the Friends range.
There you
go. And that's really pushed them up, against Mattel and Hasbro, who are their main competitors. So Mattel owns the pink corridor in Kmart and Myers and Target, and so they designed the Friends sets, all the pink stuff, not to sell more Lego, but to get into the pink. It's like a smart bomb, missile to get into the pink corridor, and it's been so successful for them.
Got $1 billion.
And it's great now because there's so many more girls in the hobby, and we find it at brick clubs. For nerdy girls, there's not a lot of stuff to do when they're 8, 9-year-old. You're meant to be doing dancing or singing or something. If you're into zombies and robots and stuff, and you can build and, so now you can make pink zombie attack vans and Darth Vader can, deliver it the pizza. You can do all these sort of crazy construction stuff. So I love seeing all the little girls, come along to our clubs and get involved with Lego.
No, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually going to go in and check out some of the stuff that is on display here. So Inside the Brick is insidethebrick.com.
And
if people want to get involved and create a Lego club, they're just going to register and we'll
come
have the website and everything set up.
If you want to create a kids club, send us an email and we'll help you through that process. If you're an adult fan, so it's an Australian adult fan of Lego, an AFOL, and you'll see we've got our brick badge here. If you're an AFOL, you can go to the Facebook page, AFOL, just look that up and like that. And on that you get more of the sort of adult, man-kinder, announcements around things that we do.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks for coming and seeing us.
All right, let's go and check it out. It was great fun catching up with Chris and playing with all that Lego. And we learned something, so I no longer call it Legos, it's Legos. So,
I do that every time now. Every time I'm about to say it, I'm like,
make sure you say it right. But no, really great. And we actually went down to Inside the Brick headquarters and checked out what they did, and also had a chat to Diane, who's a mother of a daughter with autism, and had a little talk to her about what the impact of Inside the Brick was in that story. So that's a really great story, and I'm really looking forward to that coming out just a little bit later on in the season.
well, thanks, Ron, and thanks for assisting today. I'd like to thank everybody for being on today's show. And if anybody wants to contact us or keep up to date with what we're doing, you can contact us on Facebook. Yep. And we'll catch you all next time.